Number 8 Villanova and Butler on CBS. The Bulldogs dropped 6 of their last 9 games, and what a good boy that was, but they've won 2 of their last 3 against AP top 10 teams. And Nova, they struggled from the field just in general. From 3 in the first half, 1 of 9, just 11%. But in general, 8 of 36 from the field in the first half. As for Butler freshman guard Chuck Harris, he got rolling. 6 minutes left in the first half. Harris catch and shoot, drills a 3 that puts Butler up 1. Over a minute later, knotted at 20, Harris off a screen, gets to the free throw line and hits the jumper. Harris had 15 points in just the first half. 2 minutes before the break, Bryce Enzi down on the block, turns and lays it in. Next Butler possession, Bulldogs pass it around. A cutting Enzi slams it down with both hands. Butler up 11. They close the half on a 14-4 run to take a 10-point lead heading into the break. And more Bulldogs in the second half. Bryce Golden there with the fadeaway jumper. Next possession, Chuck Harris off a screen. Kicks out to Bo Hodges, who drains a triple. Butler up 15 and their largest lead of the game. So just over 3 minutes left, Jair Bolden finds an open Harris, draining the deep 3. He had 20 points, a game high. And Harris ahead now to Bolden, who connects from deep. Butler, they have won 3 of the past 4 games against AP top 10 teams. And we told you, Nova struggling from deep. A season worst 2 of 27 from 3. That's just 7.4%. Your final 73-61 Butler on top. Our Tim Doyle and Larry Harstein, they both took Butler earlier on HQ. Kenny White also liking the Bulldogs, but Kenny also taking the under earlier on HQ. They won outright. They were plus 550. And what a Sunday to forget for Villanova. They lost 4 of their last 5 games there, and as we said it, worst 3-point field goal percentage since 2000, only 7.4%. We now welcome in the co-hosts of the Eye on College Basketball podcast, Matt Norlander and Gary Parrish. Guys, we talked about it at half. These two teams looking similar, but Butler able to get Villanova off their game, get the big win. Matt, what'd you think overall?
Jay Wright has to hate Hinkle Fieldhouse at this point. So you saw the graphic for the past 5. There's more context to provide for this. Butler's won those 4 games by an average of 8 points, and in every single one of those games, Villanova was the favorite. Villanova was a top 10 team. It's 8th ranked today. 2 of those losses in the past have come when Villanova was the #1 ranked team in America. This 3-point shooting or lack thereof from Villanova is stunning. Great win for Butler. Frankly, this is the kind of win that almost makes this grind worth it for that team. They have not performed the way they wanted to. Laval Jordan, his staff, and those players will probably enjoy their Sunday night. This will probably be the most celebratory, stress-free evening they've had yet this season when you can pull off a win like this. For Villanova, I mean, listen, Jerry Palm will update his bracket in a matter of hours. Let's speak to the obviousness here. Villanova no longer belongs on the 2 line. It has no business being there. It has one really, really good win. It has at Texas. There's not a lot there otherwise. I do have confidence that Jay Wright will put February behind him. March starts tomorrow and be able to get Villanova hopefully on the right track. But the next game is a huge one. Let's be real. For the Big East race, for seeding, for all of it. Creighton's already beat Villanova once, and now Creighton travels to play Villanova on Wednesday, probably the biggest game of that night. And Villanova's seed status in the Big East, in the NCAA tournament, its overall direction as a program within the season, a lot of it hinges on that game after what was their worst performance of the season on Sunday.
Congrats to Butler. Winning any game in this particular season has been challenging. Winning as a double-digit underdog is almost unthinkable. But this is more about Villanova than it is Butler. This is a horrific loss. I mean, it is technically a quad 2 loss because the quadrant system is goofy, and road games against top 135 teams fall under quadrant 2, and Butler entered this game at 131, so just barely on the right side of it. But let's not get it twisted. This is a bad loss to a bad team under less than ideal circumstances. This is a Villanova team that, you know, as we talked about pregame, was a projected #2 seed in the NCAA tournament. I had them 8th in my top 25 and 1, again, which translates to 2 seed. Norlander is exactly right. They will not be there tomorrow morning. I don't know if it knocks them off the 3 line all the way from 2 to 4, but this is certainly damaging and not the type of loss you want to be taking, on the last day of February as we get ready to turn this calendar to March.
You guys mentioned it. I think, Matt, I saw you tweet about it, that you don't think that Villanova deserves to be that 2 seed as we flip over to March. This isn't a panic button moment, however, despite such an ugly loss. Would you say, Gary?
There's no panic with Jay Wright's program. I mean, he has built one of the most reliable and consistent programs in America, obviously winning 2 national championships recently, continuing to bounce people into the NBA. I don't even know that Jay Wright has a panic button to push. He's very good at his job. He's filled with confidence. He understands how to get this thing on track. It's something I've noticed over the years, especially since the championships, and you'll see it later on today, I promise you. When Jay Wright's Villanova Wildcats lose a game, he goes on Twitter and congratulates the other team. Like, hey, great job. You really guarded well. Congratulations. We're really happy for you. That's how comfortable he is losing basketball games because he does it so infrequently. So he'll just get back into the gym and get his team right. If you can't trust this guy, there's nobody you can trust. But still, this is a bad loss that dings your resume. It will not be a difference maker as it relates to whether Villanova goes to another Final Four or not, I don't think. But it will be a difference maker when Jerry Palm updates his bracket tomorrow morning.
GP's line right there is just exactly what I was thinking. So we're talking about 2 different things right now. What Villanova deserves in terms of its seed projection as we flip the monthly calendar here, but also what we think Villanova is capable of doing once we start the big dance. Those are 2 different things. Also keep in mind, go ahead and look at the scoreboard from the past few days. There's a lot of top 10 teams in college basketball that have been taking losses, so it's not like Villanova is an aberration right now. Once it gets to the tournament, yes, if it has a 3 or 4 seed, that's going to be a tougher road than if it had a 2, obviously. But I still think that the chances of Villanova making it to a Final Four are relatively healthy. We'd have to wait and see what the matchups were in the bracket. And if Villanova's in Gonzaga's region, then of course I'm not going to pick them to make the Final Four. But I still think that they have a decent chance of getting there. The one, kind of interesting, humorous thing about all of this, by the way, is that we mentioned how Villanova has had a lot of issues at Hinkle Fieldhouse against Butler. Entire NCAA tournaments in Indiana this year, and Hinkle Fieldhouse is going to host first round, second round, Sweet 16 games. So in a weird way, like Villanova fans they want in the field, but do not place us in Hinkle Fieldhouse in our first round game. Anywhere else, we'll go to Assembly Hall, we'll go to IUPUI. You can put us in Lucas Oil Stadium, anywhere. That's actually like kind of an interesting subplot, and I would wonder. I genuinely would wonder, will the committee be aware of this and really care at all where it places Villanova? If it, for whatever reason, goes to Hinkle, the Nova conspiracy theorists are going to start sounding like Kentucky fans in a hurry there. Just keep that in mind. They've had a lot of trouble in that building. They don't want to go there once we get the tournament started.
That is actually an excellent point. I didn't even think about that. So if the committee is watching, I'm sure that's something they're writing down. Matt Norlander, Gary Parrish, thank you so much for the insight. We appreciate the time. And get more from our guys. Eye on College Basketball podcast. Download and subscribe it today. Guys, we flip the calendar into March tomorrow, so get all the storylines, all the news you need from college hoops in the Eye on College Basketball podcast.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.